Alright, make sure everything is up and running. Beautiful. Alright, so gonna add an anti-roll bar to the rear axle for performance reasons, but get this on here, so you'll need two of these. Let's see. Now we're gonna need these. We're gonna need these. Alright, what else was there? Friction, high friction ones. Okay. Now, what else was there? Now you're going to need, I think it's 4 of these. 2 on this side, 2 on this side. So I think this is all the pieces. If it's not, well, I made a liar of myself in the first like 10 seconds. Awesome. Alright. Now I think this is all the pieces. I'm actually going to switch this off for a gray one. Consistency. Alright. So now to upgrade this to have an anti-roll bar, we do have to do a little bit of deconstruction. So we'll need to take off these suspension pieces, like so. Need to set these off to the side. Whoa. Shot out. Alright, we can take these off. Set them to the side. Oh, well, that was gone for a while. I have to get that later. Alright, now that that is done, this piece will go here and here. Alright. So the next step on this is creating basically the holds the bar for the anti-roll bar. So the first step is getting this. I forgot 2 more pieces. I apologize. I'm slacking today. So this will be first. And you're going to connect it like so. And then the next one. So you should have this. And this is actually going to slide in right here. Like so. Now, it would be easier for you to put the suspension pieces back on, or at least the springs back on right now. And then push this through, like so. Put this. And so, oh, starting to come apart on me, but should be able to twist all of these back. So now the subframe or the frame should look something like this. And this will be the back, and this will be the front. You need to do the same thing on the other side. get the frame set up, the central frame, like this. You'll actually push the 3 axles out. Like that. Set those over there. I'm actually going to grab that. Well, it just went under the baseboard, so these will be the leftover pieces that won't be used, and I believe this just slops down right on top like that. Go ahead and get these pieces put together. Actually, before you connect that, you'll want to make sure that this is done. Missing pieces again. So this will be the center part of the anti-roll bar, and that'll slide onto here like so. Now, the not so fun part for me, or for anybody I think, I like using the high friction ones. You don't have to, you can just use regular friction ones. It's up to you. Woo, I'm throwing stuff. Goodness. That's one side done. All right. Once you have all of that together, push it too far. Ahead and reinsert this. Now, you're going to want the anti-roll bar lined up like this. And once that is done, man, I missed a lot of pieces on this one. I apologize. Bye. Go ahead and put these pieces on. Once that's done. So this time you will need the ones with the stoppers on it. And you'll just push it through like so. And now you've got an anti-roll bar connected. So if I go in and push out the suspension pieces on one side, like so, and see the anti-roll bar is doing its job. There you go. That is the rear axle. We'll go ahead and reattach the wheels. So now your rear axle has an anti-roll bar. And the subframe of this, when you're connecting it to the car, I actually have a piece that comes down and goes across to keep this piece from rising. You can see that it starts to rise right here. If you get another piece to just go across, or you can actually do this and add in, I'm sorry, you can do this piece right here and add these two. I'll use gray to stay consistent. Do something like this. And that'll clip it in the back, and it stops that from happening. So I'll go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Like so. And there you go. It's reinforced now. It's not going to move up. And so now, your rear suspension has an anti-roll bar. Now, if you want it to have slightly less, I would say slightly less stiffness, this would be a fairly stiff anti-roll bar, as it's only got 2 studs for a lever. You can actually move it out 1 and use a 3 instead of a 2. Works just the same. You have to move everything out slightly, but it's not that big of a deal to do so. I've just found that for the weight of the R8 that I have, which I guess I can show really quickly. For the weight of this behemoth, you can actually see, move all of these excess pieces out of the way. Right here, in this area right here, that is actually the anti-roll bar, and this is the connection for the anti-roll bar here and here. So if I push down on the rear, you can see these pieces moving up and down. As the suspension compresses, it's probably only getting a 1/10 of a turn, so like 36 degrees rotation. It's really not much, so I needed it to be as small as possible. But anyhow, I guess I can try to show the front of the car. Excuse me. The front of the car. This is the front. Now, I don't know how well I can actually get it in frame. This is why I need a second camera. But it actually does have working aerodynamics. I don't know if you can see my fingers down here, but these are the fins, just like the Audi R8 GT2. This inner part right here, air will go in and then it'll come out the top up here. So it's a little bit of aerodynamics at play, and considering that the chassis has gone 45, 46 kilometers an hour, I'm assuming this thing will go over 40, but I'll go ahead and get this thing connected. I've also got the lights hooked up on the front. I'm waiting for quite a few red panels to come in that I don't have right now, to actually get the bodywork started on. Once I get the bodywork done and I see how much room I have on the internals, all 6 of these are probably going to be moved around. And once they are moved around and I have enough space, I've got a red and black seat that will be going on the car. And then I also have a red and black steering wheel, which this design specifically, I believe Rastar, they did on their Audi R8 LMS GT3. But I really like the design of it, so I'm stealing it. Not my design, it's their design, and this is kind of an enlarged redesign of the Sion, the Lamborghini Sion seats, and then in black and red instead of black, lime green, and gray. But now that that is done, and this is all hooked up, we go ahead and show the lights. So on the outside, we've got our daytime lights, which is just those two. We've got our fog lights, which are the inner 4. And then if you want all 6 to be on, you can get all 6 to be on. But that is the R8 as it stands right now. V10 is connected to the drivetrain right here. This gear actually sits on top of this gear right here. Well, I guess it's the back one, not the front one. But the pistons do move with the car, so it is part of the drivetrain. It does cause some friction losses, but at the end of the day, it's really not that big of a deal. It's only causes like 2% friction, 3% friction losses. So we're talking if the car goes 50 kilometers an hour, it's only going to slow it down to like 48.5, which, sure, some people are going to say disconnect it, and you can. But, yep, so that is the anti-roll bar for the rear axle. Outside of that, this rear axle, I haven't had any other upgrades needed to do this. The only other upgrade that there is adding dampers, and these pneumatic two-way cylinders, you put a hose on either side and fill it with water, and as it compresses and decompresses, because there's water's in the cylinder now, and it compresses, the water will come out of here, go through the hose and into here, filling up the cylinder. It creates a lot of resistance, and you'll notice 1, 2, and then I've got 3, 4. This car actually has 4 dampers on it, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 springs. So I do have actual suspension on this car, and the next live stream that I do will be about the front axle, as we have now completed the rear axle. Thank you very much.